Good morning, everyone. JT here, Serenity Farms prepping. FedNow CBDC Trojan horse. It's more and more obvious that that's what the FedNow program is. Now, I made 4 other videos on the CBDC and how it's going to affect our lives, literally. And there's been a lot of resistance to that. They aren't quite, they being the elites, the Democrats, the powers that be, they're not quite ready to implement it all because we haven't collapsed and there hasn't been a grid down scenario, bank closure. So FedNow in July was implemented, began. As it turns out, that program is shifting millions of Americans' bank accounts into the FedNow program without your knowledge. Now, every once in a while, I follow Lynette Zang from ITM. She has some good knowledge. Yeah, she's always plugging gold and silver. I have silver. I only buy stuff I can hold in my hands. I can't afford gold, so I stack silver. Once a month, I try to buy a 1-ounce coin or bar, maybe 2. But I want to listen to her for a few minutes. She explains how it's happening and why you're very likely not going to notice it until it's too late. She even is going to provide a link to where you can go to see if your financial institution has become part of this Trojan horse. So let's take a look.
The FedNow payment system launched 4 days ago, and there are major concerns about how this infrastructure could lead to central bank digital currencies and the reset of the U.S. dollar. Your money is becoming less and less safe by the day. One of our clients received a suspicious letter from their bank telling them that there were some exciting changes coming. The letter said most of their account information would stay the same and their online experience would be changing and some account features. I asked to see the prospectus, and after days of digging, I just confirmed that FedNow was behind these changes. And I'll show you how they're doing it without you knowing it. Because I've been saying for years that the shift is going to happen without you knowing, and by the time you know, it'll be too late to do anything about it. This is about how to do your own digging, how to read between the lines, and how to protect your assets from financial manipulation and control. Coming up. And it involves converting you into their slaves. So fortunately, we had a wonderful client that sent in a letter that he got from its bank, Webster Bank. And it said, okay, doke, because really what this is the spider quietly building its web. And let me tell you, before I start this, why this is so important is because this is an absolutely perfect example of how they get you into compliance without you even knowing it. It is perception management at its flippin' finest, and I am so ticked off I can't even stand it. Let me show you what I found. I mean, I was totally I'm just going to go on, okay, because this impacts everybody. It isn't just Webster Bank that this is happening with, it's everybody as the central bank spiders build their web quietly. So what do they say in this wonderful letter? We are pleased to share that on July 24th, 2023, we will introduce a new operating system and digital platform that will help us bring you important enhancements, yeah, for who? Including a new lineup of products and services. Isn't that great? Isn't that just great? So, hey, this is great. They're doing all sorts of new stuff for your benefit. Don't worry, because a personalized account summary that identifies your new Webster deposit accounts that have been carefully selected to bring you product features and benefits comparable to those you already have. They have to keep things as close to what you're used to as possible so that you do not notice that anything has really changed. When in reality, everything has changed. For those of us that are my age, you remember back to August of 1971, and what were we told? Just buy American. Nothing has changed. You're not going to get inflation. It's not a problem. But the reality is after August 1971, everything had changed. Everything. Our updated account disclosures booklet. This is your contract. This is your contract. Effective July 24th, 2023, containing terms and conditions you should review and retain for your records. This is your legally binding contract. If you continue to use the account, you have agreed to these terms. Now, I got to tell you, I went into this and I wanted to know, okay, what's changed? And when I'm reading this, I can't see anything that has changed because they don't want you to understand what has changed. So I went in and, being the little ferret that I am, I started to dig because I realized just reading this was a waste of my time, right? I mean, you are legally bound by this, but it was a waste of my time. I can't wait to show you what I found. Thank you so much for that wonderful client that sent this in and brought this to my attention and had me focus on it. I want you to know right now, I really, really appreciate it. Absolutely, and I'm sure everybody watching really appreciates it too. Because what I'm about to show you in black and white with all the links is how central banks and governments change financial regimes without you realizing it. How they get you suckered in, and it's too late. So let me show you. Now, going on their website, what does it say? What's changing? All right, that's what I wanted to know. I'm sure that's what you wanted to know. But they're going to start with what won't change. So account numbers checked, direct deposit, automated payment, debit card, online mobile. Nothing, really, these are all the services that you're using. Nothing's changing. Notice how nice and long and specific this list of what is not changing is. Specific, right? Let's look at what will change. Two things will change. No big deal, right? Some account features, though they don't say what those are. And your online experience. And again, they don't say what those things are, but what they do is you'll notice two things, so it's much shorter, and they are completely non-specific. And if you want to know more details, please refer to the important topics. So now you've got to do more work. Most people are busy. Most people are going, well, the things that matter to me, those aren't changing. And there's only, some little things that are no big deal. And so you agree to it because you don't know what's going on. Plus, if you want to use your account, I don't know that there's any place you're going to be able to get away from it. I mean, not everybody is adopted, but they will. And I'll get into more about that in just a second. So, again, the formula, and they have done this in 1913. They've done it many, many times. But they certainly did it in 1913. They did it in the 1940s at Bretton Woods. They did it in 1971. And I am here to sit here and tell you, and I've been saying this since 2008, no doubt in my mind, the old system died and was put on life support to get all these new things in place. And by the way, things that you used to be able to do with your bank account, like give your kids cash. I mean, when my girls were in college, I would deposit cash into their accounts. Boom, can't do it. That's one little minor thing, and you say, well, that's not a big deal. Nothing in and of itself ever seems to be that big of a deal, but when you step back and you look at this whole spider web, you know, you're getting caught. Let's move forward. Okay. Webster Bank is this was the point that I wanted to make too. Okay. Remember, I've told you over and over and over again, because they've told me in their big documents that the IMF and the BIS and all those guys do, what do they want? They want distance between policy, so they want to institute the FedNow accounts, and how it's introduced to you. This is how they're introducing it. So just keep these things in mind. So kind of obscure. Look at this. You are going to have access through your debit cards, which people use, the debit cards, the credit cards, a surcharge-free ATM through MoneyPass. So they're telling you, continue to use your current Webster Visa debit card with your existing PIN to access your account. See, nothing has changed. And starting today or yesterday, you'll gain access to more than 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs across the U.S. with no surcharge fee. See what's changing?
So, sudden access to more than 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs across the U.S. with no surcharge fees. See how they're making it seem like you're getting virtually unlimited access to your own money all across the United States with no fees, when what they're really doing right now is expanding the certain financial institutions, only the certain financial institutions, that the masses will be able to, not only able to, but the only ones they'll be able to go to withdraw from your UBI, social credit score, carbon footprint, CBDC. The smaller banks, credit unions, whatever you got, they're all going to be wiped out. Might be a satellite office here or there, but as they attempt to do all this, remember, they're going to be moving people closer and closer and closer into smart / 15-minute cities, so they'll need less and less and less financial institutions, and I use that word loosely because at some point there'll be just a few left where the big elites have taken all the money they steal from us in our retirement savings, our IRAs, our 401ks. They're going to steal all that money because you're going to be assigned a UBI, and that's the amount that you'll get every month, plus or minus how you're obeying the rules of the system. So within your little 15-minute city will be the one place that maybe you get to go. But if you've gotten something, they're making it sound like the ATMs and your debit / credit card are all you're going to need right now. That's just to keep everyone in the system and from getting out of it. We all know that it'll go from the cards to all you need is your smartphone, which is continually tracking you, and all your personal information will be on this if you want to, need to, have to be part of the system. Then you're not going to need the phone because everything about you will be located somewhere relatively close. You get what we're getting at here, right? Let's see what else she has.
See what's changing? That's what's changing. Now, you're going to look at that and go, well, great. Now, that just means that I'll be able to access my cash in 40,000 more places if I need it. That grand? Well, yes, and many people think so. Today, more than 2,000 organizations and 160 million cardholders rely on the surcharge-free MoneyPass network from FISSERV. MoneyPass? FISSERV. Okay. Who are they? Who's FISSERV? Well, I went online, and FISSERV has been around for a while, and I thought, well, I think I even made mention that I somehow felt that this change with the timing and everything was about the FedNow. So look at what you're watching. This is from FedNow. The links are below. It's 2 pages long. You want to know if you've got, if they're participating in the FedNow program? Click that link below and check out and see.
Okay, so here's the link. It's going to go to Lynette's website, but research links or questions from the video, www.itmtrading.com/blog/shift, and that will give you a list of the slides and the banks that are already part of this. So what she was talking about with that FISSERV server system is your financial institution can act like they're not part of this CBDC UBI system. The server system is the one that is going to be responsible because it controls all these banks and institutions that use it. So the banks are lying to you by omission by saying, it's not us, it's the server. Knowing full well they use the server, they're trying to blame on the server everything that's going to happen and not themselves. And it's a lie. They know it's coming. They're part of it. They're deflecting it by saying it's the server. Now, if you can do gold, great. Silver, better. I pay $28 to $35 an ounce for a bar. Yeah, you can't eat it. It's a good backup when I can afford it to some possible barter and trade. Once again, any silver dollar, half dollar, quarter, nickel, or dime, 1964 or older is silver, considered junk type stuff. I save it all. You can go online and get a chart for what each one of those coins is worth in silver dollars. And that'll be much better for barter and trade because you can make change. If I have a 1 ounce silver coin and silver is going for $200 an ounce and I'm bartering for $10 and all I have is that 1 ounce coin, I'm going to be screwed. So I go through all my change every week and save all those junk coins. All right. Sorry this went a little bit long, but I think it's very important, especially for this link, to go check out if your financial institution is involved in this. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and notification bell. But for now, JT, signing.